Okay. All right, so we are recording. So welcome everyone to the honors orientation for fall 2020. I'm so appreciative that you're here, that you're joining us, that you're making the time for this. When my own dogs bark, as they're doing right now, I apologize. That will happen sometimes. There may also be technological glitches that happen. There's one that's happened already where I can't go into full screen mode and still see my mouse. So I apologize for that, but we'll make the best of it. You'll miss all my fun animations that I had planned for you using Keynote here, but that's okay. So we're going to start by with a little bit of sort of a little mini lecture and a presentation from one of our deans. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the honors program and what honors students have been able to accomplish and what kinds of activities the program does. Then we'll talk a little bit about virtual learning and how that's going to work this semester, because most of your classes, if not all of them, will be offered remotely or online. And we'll then have some time to demonstrate how you access your courses. And that's something that's really important. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk you through that process. We're going to play a Kahoot at one point. If you know how to play a Kahoot, that's great. You will be an expert. If you don't know how to play a Kahoot, not to worry, I will teach you how. And that will be a fun interactive experience for us. And then we're going to go into breakout rooms. And that's a chance for you to spend some time with your mentor and unmute and ask questions. And then we'll come back into the whole group and we'll just talk about a few more things before I let you go for the day. We will definitely stop by 3 o'clock. And I will be able to stay around for about 15 more minutes before my next meeting. And then I can answer any other questions that you have, any lingering questions. Okay, so with that in mind, Carol and Teresa will be monitoring the chat. So if you do have a question, you're welcome to type it in the chat. Otherwise, what I want to share with you at this particular point is some information about how RCC has been reorganized. Now, you all are new to RCC, and so you may not know that the college has gone through some pretty significant changes recently with the purpose of making the college a friendlier, easier place for you to interact with. And that movement is called Guided Pathways. And it's a movement that's focused on helping you have a stronger academic experience that involves having a clear path toward transfer and career. And so RCC is now organized into 5 schools. And I wanted to show you this diagram. Parts of it, some of the departments have actually changed from when this diagram was made. But what I love about this diagram is that it shows you what these 5 schools are. And it also shows you how the honors program interacts with those 5 schools, because we are this beautiful rainbow that connects all 5 schools. So the schools in RCC are the School of Nursing, Health, and Wellness. Most honors students do not interact with that school because to do so would mean that you are doing a dual degree in something like nursing and in the honors program. Then there's the School of Business and Professional Studies, and those of you who are business administration students, you are in that school. You are a member of that school and you are a member of the honors program. There is the School of Education and Social Sciences, and those of you who are interested in psychology, sociology, teacher education, things like that, you'll be a member of that school. There's also the School of Arts and Humanities. Those of you interested in history, art, English, photography, etc. Those of you in that school will be pursuing those kinds of majors. Then there's the School of STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. And those of you who are pursuing math or science degrees will be in that school. So what I want you to understand from this is that you are both in the honors program and you are also in a school. And that's something that's important, to understand about your position in RCC. We actually have one of our deans here today. And so for a moment, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Melanie Rhee, who's the Dean of the School of STEM, and she's just going to welcome you and say a few words. So Dr. Rhee, feel free to take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Lynch. So I just wanted to say welcome to all of you. It's exciting to have so many wonderful new honor students come to the RCC campus. I am the Dean for the School for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, the STEM school. My areas would include anything in science, which includes things like engineering, environmental science, green buildings, but then also math, cyber and computer studies, as well as the automotive tech program. So I have several areas in my school that many of you will come in contact with. Particularly, we do have a lot of math and science majors that come through the honors program. In fact, many of you will be mentored by faculty that work in my school, and they are all equally wonderful. We've had great experience. We have a great relationship with the honors program. The faculty mentors in the program truly treat the program like it's a family, and that's a really wonderful experience then for the students to have. If any of you have any questions at all during your time at RCC, you can always reach out to me as well as your faculty mentor. I'd be happy to do what I can to address any concerns or things you might like to see in a future state in our school. That would be wonderful. Student feedback has been really instrumental in building out areas of the college over time. So one area that I just want to mention, and then I'll turn it back over to Dr. Lynch, is we are in the works to have a computer science track that will be part of kind of working with the math department, but we will have a computer science track that is currently moving up the chain for approval at the level of at the SUNY level. So hopefully will be approved soon so that students who are interested in those areas can start pursuing that track. So I just wanted to make mention of that as well. And welcome. I hope you have a wonderful semester.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Reed. Thanks so much for joining us. And I see that Dr. Repick, the Dean of the School of Business and Professional Studies, has actually just come on. So Dr. Repick, do you have any interest in saying a few words to our honor students today? If so, you are welcome to.
Oh, it's muted. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
We can, yes.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you for inviting me for this call, Dr. Lynch. I just want to wish honor students successful semester. And I know it's a lot of challenges and everything else. And since I'm a Dean of School of Business and Professional Studies, we do have a business honor students. And I am very proud of you, and we hope to get more students from business there into honors program. And just really want to wish you good luck. And in the business, we are also working on some new programs in sports management, and we're going to come with the economics track as well. So wish you best in the new semester, and thanks for joining this call. Thanks, Dr. Lynch.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Repick. Thank you both for joining us today. So those were only 2 of our 5 deans. The deans are part of your support system as an RCC student, and we'll talk a little bit more a little later in this meeting about, what exactly your support system looks like. So I'm going to try to go into full screen mode here, and if I need to pop back out of it, then I will, and I appreciate your patience with the technology. So what I want to do now is I want to show you a little bit about what kinds of activities and events the honors program does. These are going to be activities that we've done in the past year. I want to show you some of our highlights. Now, obviously, in the world of COVID, things are a little different, and we're not always going to be able to do these same kinds of activities. But we will do our best to make this a very rich and wonderful experience for you socially. So let me just, hang on, give me 1 second. Give you a taste a little bit of some of our activities. So this was our trip to Kill a Mockingbird in New York City. It was really exciting. We got to go see the show, and it was subsidized by the Student Involvement Department and also by the Honors Program, and you can see wonderful smiling faces. We enjoyed it so much. We also have every year, although not this year, it's not going to be in person, but we have a holiday party, and that holiday party is a potluck, and students bring in all kinds of food, and the faculty brings in food, and it's just such a wonderful, warm, and fuzzy event. We also have the Honors Newsletter Club, which you're going to be hearing about very shortly. And the Honors Newsletter Club had a Zoom launch party. This was post-pandemic, and that was in May. It was a wonderful event, and their newsletter is just fantastic. I invite you to read it on our website and get a sense of what we do in the program. And you're welcome to join the Newsletter Club and become a part of that if you'd like. And we also hosted a Black Lives Matter panel featuring honors students and alumni. And it was such an amazing event in late June that really helped us think about these very important issues and make sure that we are maintaining an equitable environment in the honors program. We really learned from our alumni and our current students. So that's just a taste of what we have done. What I'd like to do now, I think Kayla, our president of our honors newsletter, and also our honors student assistant for this year. Kayla, I think you're here, right? So I'd like you to unmute and just say a little bit about the newsletter and about the honors program from your perspective. We'd love to hear from you.
So hi everybody, I'm Kayla. I'm an honors student as well, so I'm on the math and science track for engineering. Um, so the newsletter club is a great way to get involved, pre and post pandemic. It's a great way to get involved with the community at RCC, as well as getting to know a bunch of other honors students. So the club is a club for honor students by honor students. So what that means is all the members are honor students, and we write about what honor students have done, such as internships some may have done. I know last semester there was someone who was interning at Good Sam. We also would write about like community service projects hosted by honor students. Last semester, we hosted a collection for High Tour. We also write about students who are involved in the theater, in the play, in the musical. And also we write about students who have studied abroad at Cambridge. Now, unfortunately, that didn't happen this semester, but hopefully maybe in the spring that could be up and running again. But we write about anything honor students do, whether they're in the club or not. So we go around and we see what other honor students are up to, whether they're doing it for another club or just doing something in their community. Also, the Honors Newsletter Club is having our first event Tuesday, September 15th during Common Hour, which is 12:30 to 1:30. And this event is to help new students like yourselves learn a little, tips on how to survive online classes. There will be other members of the newsletter club, including myself, and we'll be going over our experiences we had at RCC as honor students during online classes and that transition. And we just want to help you adjust and so that you can have the best strategy going into your semester so that you could succeed. So feel free to stop by. We're going to be sending out more notifications and emails about it. But feel free to ask us anything, whether it's a question you may have or a concern about, being online. Like, we want to help you succeed this semester.
There we go. So thanks so much, Kayla, for speaking and for being here. Kayla is a second-year student, everyone. She is our honors student assistant, meaning she works in the honors program. She's the president of the honors student newsletter. She is a great resource for you. So thank you for being so generous with your time today, Kayla. So I am going to now go. Yeah, no worries. I'm going to go back to full screen, and I'm going to tell you a few stories. So as an English professor, I love telling stories. I think stories are really important. And I think that right now at the beginning of your honors career, it's really important for you to understand what is possible. And I wanted to just share a few stories of past honor students with you very briefly so that you understand what's possible. If you are not muted, if you wouldn't mind, please muting yourself, just because that will cut down on any kind of background noise. So I really appreciate that. So I'm going to start by telling you the story of Duran. Duran Payne came to RCC as a non-honor student. He wasn't originally in the program. And his English professor saw him doing really well and suggested that he join. And he said it was really hard for him to work up the courage to join the program. But when he did, he started doing really well. He went to Cambridge, which is one of the programs that Kayla mentioned. And in Cambridge, this is a picture of Duran wearing his suit in Cambridge, looking great, very sharp. He did really well in Cambridge. He came back. He just had a wonderful, next semester. And then he applied to Georgetown University. That application, he worked so hard on that. He and I worked on that together for many, many hours. And he was accepted and he matriculated at Georgetown and he just recently graduated. And so that's one of our wonderful success stories. So there are some of you today in this room who have been an RCC student already, and you are joining the honors program partway through like Duran, and we're so excited that you're joining us. Next, I want to talk to you a little bit about Jasmine. Jasmine is over here on the right of the screen. Jasmine is Jasmine Dew. She was an early admit student, so she came to RCC as a high school student, as many of you are, and she completed her senior year of high school. Then she stayed for an extra year. She got involved in some of the really exciting research projects that we have at the college. And back behind her is Dr. Jeff McLean, who is working with another honor student, Marjorie, and Dr. McLean runs some great research opportunities at the college. So once you have some science courses under your belt, you are very, very welcome to join those research opportunities. Jasmine ended up transferring to Johns Hopkins University, and she graduated last year. Next, I want to share with you the story of Yehidis, also known as Y. This is Y with the former SUNY chancellor and also the former RCC president winning a chancellor's award, which is something you too could do if you get really involved and have a stellar GPA and really make an impact on the campus. Y was a little bit older than our traditional student, as some of you are, and she went on to transfer to Columbia University, where she just graduated this past semester. I got to see her over the summer. She graduated with a degree in anthropology, and she also completed her pre-medical requirements. So Y is such an inspiration to us all. And then finally, I want to introduce you to my friend Neola. Neola is the one with those prominent gloves on in the front there. This is a picture of Neola, who was our former student assistant 2 years ago, just like Kayla is now. And Neola went on also to Johns Hopkins University, where she is currently in her senior year, in her senior year of college there at Johns Hopkins. Neola is very passionate about the sciences. She's also very passionate about public health. She got involved not only in Research SCC, but also in a program called the Bridges Program through Purchase College that she was able to do over one summer. So I'm just sharing these stories with you briefly to give you a taste of what is possible. All the different kinds of activities you can do, all the different kinds of students we have, and it's entirely possible to go on from the honors program and transfer to one of these top tier institutions like Georgetown or Johns Hopkins or Columbia or Cornell, etc. Whatever your goals are, that's what we want to help you do. So let's talk about the first step in doing that, which is doing really well in your virtual learning environment. So I have some hints and tips here, okay? First of all, 90% of RCC's courses this semester will be held online, okay? So most of you will probably not be going to campus. There are two kinds of online courses, synchronous and asynchronous. A synchronous course is like this, right? We see each other. We can interact with each other in real time. It has certain times of the days and weeks where it's scheduled. So for example, you might have a synchronous course that meets Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10 to 10:50. And it's expected of you that you'll be in front of your computer with your camera on, ready to go, ready to engage during those blocks of time. That's a synchronous course. In sync, right? That's one way to think about it. An asynchronous course means out of sync, basically, out of time. And what that means is that you do not ever meet like this with your class. Instead, your class exists in our learning management system called Blackboard, which I'm going to demonstrate for you soon. And you have deadlines in the course. For example, the first module or unit of work might be due, in the second week of class. And you have to turn everything in by, let's say, September 14th. That would mean that it's up to you to do all of the tasks, the readings, watch videos, take a quiz, take a test, submit an assignment. You have to do all of those things by that deadline. You can always email your teacher and ask for guidance. You can also ask for an appointment. So you could maybe video conference with your teacher or do a phone call with your teacher, but you don't ever have to join the class at a particular time. So that's what asynchronous means, okay? Now, if you do need to come to campus for a class, you can work in the library. You can also hang out in other areas of the college, but you have to wear a mask and you need to practice social distancing, okay? You will also need to complete the Campus Clear app every single time you come to campus. And I'm gonna show that to you in a few minutes, but the Campus Clear app asks you to describe any symptoms that you have related to COVID, and it will give you the all clear or not, and you will have to show that you have that all clear before you're allowed to set foot on campus, okay? It's really important to familiarize yourself with Blackboard, which I mentioned previously. I'm going to show it to you in just a few minutes, but it's really important. If you have questions about Blackboard, please make sure you reach out to your honors mentor about that. And finally, every single course that you're enrolled in will give you what's called a syllabus. A syllabus is like a contract between you and the teacher. The syllabus lays out things like the attendance policy, the assignments, how you'll be graded. And it's just so important that you read that thoroughly. Don't skip any section of that, because if you do, you're going to miss really valuable information about how the course will be taught and what is expected of you. Okay, so let's just sort of look at some of these e-resources, and then I'm going to demo some of them. First of all, most of you, I think, have already logged into My RCC. This is a really important portal for communication, access, support. You also have specifically a tool called self-service, and this is how you registered for classes. You can also view your degree progress in self-service. Right now, that tool, it's called Degree Works, it still has some bugs in it. So I've been working with the registrar to try to iron out those bugs for our honor students. There's also Blackboard, which I've mentioned before. That's where you're going to participate in online courses, find your course syllabi, find the readings, find discussion boards, find your assignments. We also have a very rich set of library databases. And because we are a part of the State University of New York system, we can access material all across that system. It's really exciting. So many of your honors courses are very research intensive, and they're going to ask you to interact with that library system. Our librarians are wonderful. They are happy to answer your questions, and I can show you how to find the library, the virtual library, in just a few minutes. As I mentioned before, you may also go and study in the actual library if you are on campus, but you need to have that mask and you need to practice social distancing. Maintain that 6 feet separation to keep us all safe. Finally, make sure that you follow us. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, okay? We have both. RCC Honors is the tag, the hashtag. And that way you'll be up to date on some really fun, announcements and important announcements. We always try to push information out to social media, so do be sure to follow us there, okay? So at this point, I'm actually going to stop sharing this presentation, and I'm going to share instead. I'm going to do a quick demo of how do we log into the system. So just give me a second here. Okay, so this is My RCC, okay? And so usually the way I go into My RCC, let's start from the very beginning. I usually go to the home page of the college, and I click on that little My RCC button at the top, and then it didn't ask me to log in. It often asks you to log in quite a lot. We have a much stronger security system than we used to. And when you log in, now My RCC looks a little different from your My RCC because I'm a faculty member and you're a student. But I want to highlight a few really important pieces of this. First of all, if you have not yet downloaded the Campus Clear app, this is a place that's going to give you information about that. You only need to download the Campus Clear app and fill it out for days that you're coming on campus, but you're not going to be allowed to come on campus unless you can demonstrate that you have been cleared by that app. So it's really important to do that. You should have received information about that from, I think, the admissions office or from IT as well. We also have Focus to Career. Focus to Career is something that you were probably given information about when you applied to the college. It's going to be a part of your first year seminar. All of you, if you're new to RCC, are going to need to take an Intro to Honors course, or if you weren't able to sign up for one in time, an Introduction to Your School. Okay, and that's a 1-credit course that meets for the first 7 weeks of the semester or the second 7 weeks of the semester. It's a pass-fail course. Really important that you take that course. It'll teach you a lot of valuable information. And as part of that course, you're going to engage with Focus to Career, which will help you think about your goals, your plans, your values, your personality. It'll just help you sort of do some planning for the rest of your academic career and beyond. Gmail. I'm going to say this many times, you're going to get really sick of it. You have to check your RCC email every day starting today, every day, okay? Every single day. Now, if you want to take the weekends off, that's okay, right? But you have to check it every single day that you're in class, because a lot of valuable information will be pushed out to you through email. I know for some of you, you're not into email. I understand that, but you've got to do it. It's your professional responsibility as a student to get used to checking email, okay? So definitely check your email once per day, at least. You also have self-service. Yours just says self-service. It doesn't say faculty advisor self-service. There's a tutorial that I made about self-service. I think you all have seen it. If not, you can let me know and I'll send you the link. There are also some really important apps in the second row here. Swift 911 is our emergency alert app. I highly suggest you sign up for that. Tutor Track is how you're going to schedule your tutoring appointments. The tutoring center and the reading and writing center will not, I believe, be available in the first week of class, but after that they will be, and I'll say more about those in a minute. And Web Advisor is no longer important to you, so just you can ignore that. Now let's go back to one I did not mention, Blackboard. Okay, this is where, when you click on Blackboard, this is your virtual learning environment. And of course, it's going to make me sign back in, so I will. Okay. If you ever forget your password, just a little quick note here. If you're having trouble signing in, the best thing you can do is go down to forgot password here. Okay. Oh. Has anybody else had this experience recently? Okay, that should do it. So once I'm into Blackboard, again, yours is going to look slightly different from mine, but it's going to look pretty similar. You're going to be able to see all of your courses for the fall on the right. What I see is every course I've ever taught since I came to RCC. So that's not particularly helpful for me, but it will look much easier for you. You can also look at your courses by going to the Courses tab up here. And I'm just going to go into one of my courses, and I'm actually going to go into student preview mode because I want to show you a few really important things, okay? So in student preview mode, this is what you will see. If you were in my Honors 101 section 801, this is what you would see, okay? Now it's really important to go to two specific places right away. Course information. In course information, usually a teacher is going to put their syllabus, just like mine is right here, and they're going to put some resources or some other information that they want you to know. Make sure that you're reading the syllabus for every single course, okay? In content, that is where the content of the course will be. And what you'll see here is that this is actually a synchronous course. I'm going to be meeting with the students via video. And if you're in that section, I'm really excited to see you starting on the 1st of September, just a few days away. And you'll see that there's already due dates set up here. So, you know, it's going to be pretty clear what students need to do, especially because it's a synchronous course and we'll be able to talk about that on the first day of class. But you may be wondering, how are we going to have class synchronously? How does that even work? Instructors at RCC can use a variety of tools. There are 3 that are most likely to be used. The first is Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, which I'm going to actually demonstrate in a minute. And that lives in Blackboard. The second is Google Meet, which is a little bit different. Google Meet, let me show you how to get there. Google Meet, you access, I think it's most helpful to access it through your email. Just to ignore my very, very messy email. I have more emails than I know what to do with. But if you click on this little grid up here, you see all of your Google apps. You see your Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Slides. This is all free for you, or rather I should say it's included in your tuition, right? It's included. And so one of the things you can use is Google Meet, and you'll see that icon right here. So if your instructor has told you that they're going to use Google Meet, you should click on that icon. The other thing you can do is you can make sure that you set up your Google Calendar so that it reflects all of your classes and has links to your Google Meet. And that's something that if you're not sure how to do that, I'm happy to run you through it, or you can look at a tutorial on YouTube, etc. So if we go back into the course, now I want to show you Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. When I click on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, you'll see that I have one little link here. It says Honors 101 section 801. It says it's recurring, that it starts 9/1/20. That's our first day of class, that it goes from 1:30 to 2:45. If I click on this, I'm going to see every single section, okay, every single time that we meet. And so what I would do is the first day of class, 9/1/20, I'm going to click on this and it's going to open this room, this virtual room that is a little bit like Zoom, a little bit like Google Meet, and that is where your class will be held. And so you click on the link for each date, okay? So that's something really important. That's how you're going to get into your synchronous classes that are in Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, okay? Now your instructor may also use Zoom. And if they do, they will send you information about that. So really there are 3 options for synchronous courses: Collaborate Ultra, Zoom, or Google Meet. If you are not sure what your instructor is using, my advice is to email your instructor. And the way to do that is you go into self-service and you can then, send them an email by clicking on their name. You're going to see their email address pop up. Okay. Now I know there's a lot more that we could do, and I know I did that very quickly, but in the interest of time and also getting to some fun, engaging material, we are going to just move forward at this point. I am happy, and your mentors are also happy, to address any questions that you have about this when we're in our breakout rooms, which will happen in a little while. Okay, so I am now going to go back to sharing my keynote. Okay, we'll make that full screen. All right, so we've already talked about all of these, and we've already talked about social media and how important it is for you to follow us there. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about, you as a student. You're in your virtual classrooms. You're trying your best. You're doing really well. What are those resources that you need to get to the next step? Because RCC is a stepping stone, right? When you get an associate degree, or when you join us for a year as an early admit student, and maybe you decide to move on after that, you're using us as a stepping stone. And that's good. That's what you should be doing. So your stepping stone might take you to transfer, or might take you out into the workforce. So these are some resources for how to take that next step. First of all, your degree sheet specifies all graduation requirements. Okay, many of you have seen your degree sheets. I'm going to show them to you after this slide in just a few minutes. I'm not gonna bore you to death with them, but I want you to see what a degree sheet is, and that specifies all of your graduation requirements for how you get out of here with a degree. Also, each fall, and this is going to be in late September this year, I'm going to offer a transfer seminar. That's a seminar on how to transfer to four-year schools. It is mandatory for every second-year student. Every first-year student, like most of you, you are welcome to attend it, okay? It's going to teach you how to research schools, how to use the Common App for transfer, how to think about whom to ask for letters of recommendation. And it's going to, give you a lot of other resources as well. Transferring is difficult, and that's a little scary. So it's important to attend that transfer seminar to get the tools that you need to be successful, okay? Now, scholarships. Every spring, usually around February, RCC announces its scholarships. Make sure that you're checking your email, because you will get an announcement about the scholarships, and then you'll need to apply. If you don't apply by the deadline, you're not going to be able to get a scholarship. So please, please, please keep an eye on your email. That's a good way to get some extra money. There are some honor-specific scholarships. There are some scholarships that have to do with what you're studying. It's a very wide range of scholarships that the college offers. There are also other money sources, okay? And these specifically are for transferring. So when it's time for you to transfer, there are other ways for you to get money. The Jack Kent Cook Scholarship is one of the most prestigious scholarships in the country. And it's for undergraduate transfer. So from people transferring from community college to a four-year school. We've had honors students receive this scholarship. It's very rare, but it does happen. And so make sure you're keeping an eye out for information about that. NYU has a scholarship that is competitive, but you can apply for it if you are transferring to certain parts of NYU. It's called the CC-TOP program, the Community College Transfer Opportunity Program. Phi Theta Kappa is an international honor society, and Dr. Butler, who is one of our honors mentors and also the program director of the sciences, Dr. Butler and I are the co-advisors of Phi Theta Kappa, or PTK as it's called. It's an international honor society for two-year college students, and you are eligible after you've taken 12 credits and you have a GPA of 3.6 or higher, and you don't have any incomplete grades on your transcript. And so for most of you, that's going to be after this first semester, okay? And then when you get that invitation from Phi Theta Kappa, I'm begging you to accept it, because if you don't, then you stand the risk of not being invited in the future if your GPA drops below 3.6. And Phi Theta Kappa offers tons of scholarship money, and four-year schools often give scholarship money to students who are members of Phi Theta Kappa. I'll give you a really good, just real quick example of that. STAC, St. Thomas Aquinas College, which is in Rockland County. If you transfer to STAC and you are a member of PTK, you automatically get half off on your tuition. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. Not every scholarship is that much money, but still, it's an opportunity for you to get money. So make sure that you accept a Phi Theta Kappa invitation. There are other honor societies as well, okay? And when you have questions about those, when you get those invitations, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to try to help you with those, okay? So let's talk about your internships, your research, and your study abroad. If you are going to graduate with honors designation from the honors program, you need to take 8 honors courses, you need to have a GPA of 3.5 or higher, and you need to do an applied learning experience. Now, if you are on the math and science degree, the business administration degree, or you're on the humanities and social science degree, and I'm going to show you all of those in just a minute, then your internship, research, and study abroad experience, that's built in. It's a 3-credit course. You either do an internship for credit, you do research for credit, or you do a study abroad for credit, and you can go to Cambridge like Duran, or you can do one of our other programs. When you do that, this is how it works. So first of all, an internship is 135 hours at a job site. You're taking it for 3 credits. You have both responsibilities at your job site and you have coursework. You can't do it abroad. And make sure that you plan it for the summer after your first year or the fall semester of your second year. And the reason that I want you to do it that way is because if you do it in the summer after your first year or that fall semester of your second year, you will be done with your internship before it's time to apply for 4-year schools. And then you can write all about your great internship experience in those applications. It's super valuable, okay? You need 2 classes that are related to the field of your internship before you're allowed to do an internship. So, if you were wanting to do one right away, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that, okay? So that's why I'm suggesting that you do it in the summer after your first year or the fall of your second semester, or fall of your second year. Research. You can pursue a research opportunity on or off campus. Make sure that if you're interested in this, most of our research opportunities are in the sciences. Make sure that you talk to your mentor. And if you are not in the sciences, you can still talk to your mentor and they'll direct you to someone in the sciences to see if that kind of internship would be a good fit for you. Most of our students who do science research are in the math and science or the math track. So just make sure that you're in the appropriate track, but you can always talk to your mentor about those opportunities. Specifically, we have science research projects dealing with bacteriophages and with algal blooms. And there's also some other opportunities as well, but those are the 2 main ones. And it's really exciting. The faculty members, Dr. Decker and Dr. McLean, who run those projects are amazing. And finally, we have study abroad. Now, RCC has, the Cambridge program. You spend 2 weeks of study in England. You do some coursework when you get back. You write a big research paper. You get 4 credits, and it counts as an honors course, which is really excellent. It's an amazing program. Students love it. I love it. It's just phenomenal. There are other opportunities, though, too. So, for example, you can we have art in London and art in Barcelona and things like that. You can do one of those other RCC study abroad programs if you'd like. Obviously, in the age of COVID, we're not doing that right now. We had to cancel Cambridge last year, this past summer. I don't know what will happen in the future, right? I wish, if only we had a crystal ball. Right now, we are hoping and praying that Cambridge happens in the summer, and we're planning for it, but we can't know for sure, right? So we ask for your patience in that respect, and more information about Cambridge will be forthcoming, not to worry. So in terms of words of wisdom, and we're getting closer to an interactive activity. I know I've been keeping you guys for a while, just talking at you. I appreciate your attention, so hang in there with me for a little bit longer, okay? Just a few words of wisdom. First of all, again, I told you I'm going to say it lots of times. Check your RCC email at least once per day. Make sure you read that syllabus. You need to take personal responsibility for keeping up with your course assignments, okay? Some of your professors, if they notice that you're not turning stuff in, they're going to reach out to you. My hope would be that every single one of your professors would do that, but I'm going to tell you, not in college. So you've got to take personal responsibility, okay, for keeping up with your course assignments. If you don't turn something in, you can't expect your faculty member to come to you and say, oh, where is it, right? You have to take that personal responsibility. So make sure you read that syllabus very closely. Pay attention to college deadlines, especially add-drop deadlines, okay? If you need any kind of refund, if you need to drop anything, if you suddenly decide that you're not going to come to RCC this semester, the deadline for a refund, 100% refund, is on Monday, okay? So you need to act fast. Make sure you know those college deadlines. In my most recent email to all the honor students, I put some information in there about that. That's the RCC academic calendar that has all that information. Make sure you read through that closely. Attend class faithfully. Be prepared, engaged, and respectful. That's going to be really important. If you can't attend class, if you get sick, heaven forbid, if you need to take care of a family member, if you have an emergency of some kind, that makes sense. We understand, but you need to tell your faculty member, preferably beforehand, and you need to make sure you're the one reaching out and making contact and doing a good job of then making up the work that you missed. One little tip for you. Sometimes I get an email from students after they've had to miss class, and they'll say, dear Dr. Lynch, I'm really sorry I couldn't make it to class today. I had to take care of my sibling who was sick. Did we do anything important? Yeah, don't say that. As far as your teacher is concerned, everything you do is important. So instead just say, can we please set up an appointment to make up what I missed, okay? Also talk to your friends in the class. You're gonna be making friends. I know it'll be weird in a virtual environment, but you're going to make friends. And when you do, you can always get notes from them, okay? So just be respectful, be engaged, be prepared. Definitely do not cheat or plagiarize, okay? Cheating and plagiarizing is how you get kicked out of the honors program. And we've done it, and I hate it every time. So please do not cheat or plagiarize. You will get caught, and you will get kicked out of honors, and that is not what we want for you. Push yourself out of your comfort zone, okay? Growth is uncomfortable. When you go to the gym, so many of you were talking about working out, right? If you go to the gym and you do an exercise routine and you don't feel uncomfortable at some point, you don't feel like your muscles are straining, have you done anything that's remotely helpful to your body? No, you're not getting stronger, right? Growth is uncomfortable. But there's a difference between that good kind of uncomfortable and a kind of uncomfortable that can really harm you. So what I want you to do is, just keep an eye on yourself, check in with yourself. But if you're feeling a little uncomfortable, if you're feeling challenged, that's okay. You can let that happen, right? That kind of stress is not bad. It's when you're constantly on the edge that we need to really check in and think about how do we, get you some extra support, okay? But it will be a process of being challenged and then finding ways to meet that challenge. And that is what your support team, which includes and is, your mentor is at the front of your support team. That's what we're here for, okay? Ask for help when you need it. That is the most important thing I can tell you. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Some of you have never had to ask for help in your life because you've always been a smart kid and, you never had to get tutoring. You never had to do a lot of studying, and there will be classes that challenge you and you're going to have to change your routine. So when that happens, ask for help. It's okay. Okay. I am never going to judge you. Not ever. As long as you're asking for help, I promise you, I will never judge you. Get involved. RCC has a ton of student clubs. We have performing arts, we have sports teams, we have volunteer activities. We have so much going on. And yes, those things will still happen virtually as much as possible. Clubs will activate. I have that from the authority of the Student Involvement Office. I just asked them this week. There will be ways to volunteer in your community. They will be different. They won't be the same as they would have been, but there will still be ways to get involved. Go for it. Do that. In fact, you can even organize your own club if you don't see a club that you want. So if there's no club for the thing that you love and you want to make your own club, you can do it. With your mentor's help, make a plan for how to make the most of your RCC honors experience, okay? Follow up on that plan each semester. Your mentor is going to reach out to you at various points. You should also reach out to them. Be proactive about that. Make sure you get FaceTime with your mentor. And just a quick reminder, as Kayla said earlier, if you're looking for a club, consider the Honors Newsletter. Carol runs the Honors Newsletter. She does such an amazing job. The students who participate in that are incredible. It's a great way to get involved and also to meet people. And the Honors Newsletter Club is going to be our social hub for the semester. They have already started brainstorming all kinds of fun activities to do, things like, Q&As, trivia, Netflix parties, things like that. So there's going to be a whole lineup of social events that you can participate in as an honors student. Okay, so at this particular point, I'm just going to stop sharing this and I'm going to show you the degrees and then we're going to do a Kahoot. Okay, so really quickly, let me show you the 3 degrees that we have in the honors program. Also, I just want to before we do the degrees, you should have received this. Admissions tells me that they sent this to you. I've gotten some questions though about the IDs. So real quick, I just wanted to share this with you. If you have not seen this document from the admissions office, it would be in your RCC email. Make sure that you do that, okay? Make sure that you check that out. And this is how you receive an ID, okay? The QR code, I'll leave it up there for a minute if you wanted to scan it right now. And what I'll do is in the next email that I send to you all, I will also include this PDF. But again, the college says that they sent it out to every student. So please make sure you check your RCC email, and that's how you can get your ID. You can upload a photo of yourself, okay? So let's talk about our 3 degrees real quick. This is a degree sheet, okay? What it does is it lays out every single requirement that you have to obtain the degree that's listed at the top, in this case, liberal arts and science, humanities and social science. You are meant to do this over 2 to 3 years. Okay, most students in the honors program complete their degree in 2 years, but you don't have to. You can slow down if that works for you. You can slow down and be a part-time student and complete it in longer time. That's totally fine. You'll see that each requirement is broken out most of the time into SUNY general education categories and then RCC specific kinds of requirements, honors program requirements in the case of, you all. A SUNY general education course is a class that has been approved by SUNY for a particular category. And so as you are working with these degree sheets, what you need to remember is that you have to fill in each of these little spaces in order to get that degree. Most of our degrees have electives. When you are taking electives, my advice is one of two things. If you know what you want, if you know that you want to become a doctor, for example, you should take electives that will support you in that goal. But if you're not sure what you want, maybe you take electives that you're just interested in exploring. Okay, so talk to your mentor about these choices. You must always, always, always get your mentor's approval for your course schedule, because your mentor is the one who helps you make sure that you are fulfilling your degree. I can't tell you how many times it happens where a mentor will give somebody advice, that person won't take that advice, they take courses that don't count toward their degree, they can't graduate, they have to stay an extra semester. Don't let that be you, okay? Make sure that you are going to your mentor and getting their advice. If you have financial aid, you've got to double check that your schedule fits your degree. Because if you take something outside of your degree, you run the risk of your financial aid being canceled, right? You do not want that. Your financial aid will only pay for things inside your degree. So it's really, really important to check with your mentor about what courses you're taking, okay? Now we also have the business administration honors track. I want to show you that one. This one is the tightest honors track. It doesn't have a true elective, okay? It has one general education elective and you have to choose from one of these categories, but it doesn't have an unrestricted elective. What it does give you, though, is such a strong foundation in everything you need to succeed in an undergraduate business degree at a four-year school. So if that's your goal, to pursue an undergraduate business degree at a four-year school, this is a great track for you, okay? It has, honors requirements. It has certain requirements that are honors, like, for example, microeconomics and macroeconomics honors. And then there are other requirements, and this is true of all of our degrees, that are not honors classes. Okay, so make sure that you get this from your mentor, that you understand it, that you talk with your mentor, that you have a plan for how to accomplish your degree. And finally, I want to show you our math and science honors track. In this track, this has probably one of the highest math requirements, Calculus 1 and either honors statistics or Calculus 2, whichever one you prefer. You also need to take 2 years of lab science, okay? And a lab science is a science course that has a lecture and then it has a lab, a hands-on activity for 1 day, 3 hours per day. And those two are linked. So your lecture is linked to your lab. Most of you, I think, already know this because you've signed up for classes, but just make sure that you understand that about your lab sciences. You can take both of your lab sciences as honors. We recommend that, but you don't have to. You only have to take 1 year of lab science as honors technically, and then the other one does not have to be honors unless you want it to be. Many students on this track are pre-med, and they wish to take organic chemistry as well as bio and inorganic chemistry. So what we recommend is taking inorganic chemistry very early on in your career, because that gives you the option to take organic chemistry over the summer or in your second year. Inorganic chemistry is a prerequisite for organic chemistry. So just a few hints and tips on this track. Please, please, please talk with your mentor if you have questions about your degree. That's the person you should reach out to. Also, you will see that in all 3 of these degrees, the internship, research project, and study abroad course is built in to this degree, okay? Some of you are on a different track. Some of you are pursuing the math track. That is not specifically an honors track. You're still in the honors program, you're still an honors student, but your degree says the math track, not an honors track. We recommend that for students interested in math, physics, computer science, and engineering, because that track has tons and tons of math courses built into it, and you need math for that. In the case of that track, you will need to plan to use one of your electives for your internship, research, or study abroad program, okay? So that is very fast. It's a lot of information that I threw at you. You're going to have questions about it. Just make sure you talk to your mentor when you do, okay? Now, we are going to have some fun. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to kahoot.it, okay? And you're going to pop open a web browser, or you're going to use the Kahoot app, and I'm going to share my screen with you in just a second. Some of you have done this a million times in high school. Some of you have never done this before, okay? So what I'm going to do is share my screen with you, okay? And I'm going to give you some time to join the Kahoot. A Kahoot, in this particular case, is a quiz, okay? You're not graded. It's for fun, okay? It's a fun way to see, an engaging way for you to see whether you've gotten some of the messages that I've been trying to tell you. It reinforces some of these things. It'll give us a chance to talk about some other stuff, okay? So what I want you to do is you can open a browser on your phone, or you can open the app if you have it. You join at www.kahoot.it. So that's the address you put into your browser. If you have the app, you can just use that. And then you enter this game pin. Now, you all, I see that you all have, a lot of you have done this in high school. And I use Kahoot a bunch in my classes. You're all being very good about using your names, which I know is like a high school requirement. If you have me in class, what I'm going to tell you, a little sneak peek, I'll tell you, oh, see, there we go. Sam has put a bunch of smiley faces in there. What I say is, as long as it's PG, it's cool. You can do that. So I've had people be me. I've had people be, you know, Batman. It doesn't really, oh, there's Spider-Man. See, there we go. We got somebody who's playing along with me. Oh, got a smiley face with Paige. Fantastic. So, you know, your teacher will tell you how they want you to engage in Kahoot. Gaming God, nice. I want to know your game, Gaming God. The only game I play is World of Warcraft. But, you know, that's me. Cat, I like that. Princess, excellent. Kermit, this is great. This is really exciting. Okay, so now with Kahoot, because we've got, oh, Howie Mandel is here. That's really exciting. I didn't know he was coming to the honors program. Sam Draper is here. Oh, Sam Draper better win. Dr. Draper, by the way, was an English professor at RCC, and he founded the honors program with some of our colleagues who are here, with Professor Arvanites, with Dr. Lee, and Professor Makovich, who's one of our mentors, actually was in the honors program when he was a student here, and now he's a mentor, which is pretty exciting. Dr. Draper, when he passed, unfortunately, but when he passed, he left a pool of money for honor students, and it's that pool of money that we use to give you a partial subsidy for Cambridge. So that's really exciting. So we really owe Dr. Draper a lot. Beetlejuice is in the house. This is excellent. Okay, mystery. Wow. So here's what I'm going to do. I know that some of you might still be joining, but we're not going to wait any longer. We're going to go ahead and start in just a minute. Oh, we've got Pi in the house. I'm now very tempted to want. Do you know? Did you memorize them, or did you have to look up all those digits? That's fantastic. All right, great. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one started. And I'm sorry if you didn't make it in, but you're going to still at least see the experience. Okay. So you are going to get points, the most points, if you answer correctly and fast. Okay. But don't, you know, fumble thumb it. You know, be as accurate as you can. Here we go, friends. RCC Honors Orientation Kahoot. Okay. The document given by each professor that explains a class's policies, grading, attendance, etc., is called a what? Is it A, calendar, syllabus, regimen, or pamphlet? Go nuts. Okay, fantastic. So many people did such a good job. It is a syllabus, okay? That syllabus is so important. You must read it. You must read it very, very carefully. Looks like Isaac's on top, followed by Pi. True or false? You must check your RCC email at least once per day. This should be very easy. This is not the hardest Kahoot in the world, I'll be honest. If you take me for English, there'll be some harder ones, I promise. Okay, yeah, okay. So you guys who said false, I think you're just messing with me. Yes, you must check your RCC email every day, okay? Great. Looks like Greg is now in the lead, followed by Isaac, followed by Pi. Here we go. RCC's learning management system or online classroom environment is called what? What is the name of that? Is it Gmail, TutorTrack, self-service, or Blackboard? The learning management system, the online classroom. I always like to dance to this music. I don't know about anybody else. Hopefully you're all hearing the music. Okay, it is Blackboard. Okay, so Blackboard is the online classroom environment. Self-service is where you register for classes and where you can see your degree. Gmail is where you're going to check your email. TutorTrack is how you sign up for tutoring in the Reading and Writing Center or in the Science Learning Center or in the Tutoring Center. But Blackboard is where you go to access your online classes. There's always going to be information about Blackboard. Even if your teacher is using Google Meet or Zoom, they're still going to put information in Blackboard. Okay, really important. That's where you want to go for information. And Talina has climbed 29 places, which is amazing. Well done. Greg's still on top. Isaac and Pi, y'all are doing great. True or false? A professor's office hours are times they have set aside to meet with students who have questions. Now, I didn't cover this yet, so it's a little bit unfair, but we'll see if you guys can get it. True or false? A professor's office hours are times they have set aside to meet with students who have questions. This is so important. Okay, true. All right, true. Sometimes a student may think a professor's office hours are times when they are working very hard in their office and they won't want to see anybody. No. If a professor has set aside office hours, and by the way, all full-time professors at the college are required to have a minimum of 5 office hours per week, okay? If a professor has set time aside, they are waiting for you to come see them. Now, obviously, in a remote environment, that's going to be trickier. The way that I do it is I have a link, a Calendly link, which many of you have used. It's in my email signature. And I also put that in my syllabi. And I tell my students when those times are, and they click the link, they book a time, it goes on our Google calendars, and then we meet virtually. I can call you, we can do Google Meet, we can do Zoom, we can do whatever you want, okay? And it's really important to engage with your professors in their office hours, even if you don't have questions, because that's how your professors get to know you. That's how you demonstrate that you're engaged and responsible and awesome, okay? So go to office hours. It is one of the best pieces of advice I can give you. Greg is in the lead still, but Pi is now in second place. Isaac's still showing a strong hand here. Here we go. All right, that was a tough question. To pay for your courses, use the blank link in my RCC. It's also something we didn't touch on, but I have emailed you about it. So let's see if you've read your email. Do you use TouchNet? Do you use Swift 911? Do you use FAFSA? Or do you use Campus Clear to pay for your courses? Okay, good. It's TouchNet, okay? I did send out an email, I think last night about this. It includes a link to some information about TouchNet. That is how you pay for your courses. Now, a lot of you chose FAFSA, and that was a pretty good choice. That was a tricky answer. FAFSA is the federal financial aid form, okay? And that's the form that you fill out if you are trying to apply for financial aid. But the way you pay for your courses is through TouchNet. Now, when I logged into my RCC, you didn't see TouchNet, and that's because I'm a faculty member. You will have a TouchNet icon, okay, that you'll be able to see, and that's how you pay. Here we go. Let's see who's on top. Oh, now everything has changed. Greg, though, is still on top, so not everything has changed. Then Jack, then Lola. Well done, everybody. Here we go. Dropping a course after the semester has begun or taking a course outside of your degree can lead to a loss of your what? Is it your grade point average, your financial aid, your MyRCC access, or your TutorTrack access? What can you lose if you drop a course after the semester has begun, or if you take a course outside of your degree? I did mention this before. Good, okay, most of you got this right. It is financial aid, okay? So if you receive financial aid, if you get financial aid, you need to double check your schedule with financial aid, and then you also need, if you want to drop a course, let's say a course isn't going well and you want to drop it, and there is a period of time in which you may drop courses, and all of those deadlines are stated on the academic calendar. You need to talk to financial aid about how that will affect your financial aid. If you don't, you could lose your money, and that's really, really bad. The other thing you want to do is make sure you're not taking courses that don't count toward your degree, okay? All right. Greg's still on top, followed by Lola, and then Peter. True or false? You should turn on your webcam and wear classroom appropriate clothing during synchronous classes. True or false? Synchronous, remember, is like we're doing right now, where we're all together. There's a teacher in the room. You're all able to participate. That's what synchronous means. In time. Okay, fantastic. Everybody who answered that question got it right. Yes, you should. Now, here is the caveat, okay? In the spring semester when everything went crazy and we had to transition from being in person to being remote, to being online, there were some students who reached out to me and said, Dr. Lynch, I can't turn on my camera. And I can't do that because I'm in a living situation where it's me and 4 other family members in one room. And I said to that student, I am just so glad that you are in class. Thank you for letting me know. Do your best. Let's meet, separately outside of class when we can. I understand. What I'm asking you to do is, if that is your situation, because I know we are all in different situations, and I deeply respect the work and the effort that it takes to make time and space for your education. If that is a situation similar to what you're facing and you cannot turn on your camera on a given day, please let your instructor know if that's their expectation, and they should be sympathetic, okay? Because we've talked about this as a college community. So it is the standard to turn on your webcam. If your internet connection is weak and it's not supporting your webcam, if you're not in a good living situation and you really just can't turn it on, or you don't really want to, you don't feel comfortable with that, I just really suggest that you reach out to your faculty. If your faculty isn't sympathetic, let me know, because I'll advocate for you in that situation, okay? We want you to be engaged, but we also know life is complicated. So, okay, let's move forward. Greg's still in first, then Lola, and then Christine, but Marina's coming up close behind. If you are struggling with a writing assignment, you should book an appointment at what? The Tutoring Center, Science Learning Center, Reading and Writing Center, or the Connection Center. It's the writing assignment. That's the key here. If you're struggling with a writing assignment, where do you book an appointment? Okay, this was a toughie. It's the Reading and Writing Center. Any writing assignment for any class. So in your bio honors, in your chem honors class, you've got to do a research paper, okay? In your history classes for honors, you've got to do a lot of writing. If you're writing and that is something you're struggling with, and I don't blame you because writing is one of the hardest things we do for any field, you should go to the Reading and Writing Center. If you are having trouble with math, with chemistry, with economics, then you go to the Tutoring Center. Okay, if you're confused, you can always ask your mentor, where should I go for help with X? And they will give you a hand and tell you how to reach out for that support. Just as a reminder, those offices will not be offering tutoring in the very first week of the semester. That's next week, but they will get started after that. Okay, let's go to the next question. Oh, we've had a change. Lola's in first, followed by Marina and Christine. True or false? It looks bad when honor students go to the Tutoring Center. Does it look bad when you go to the Tutoring Center as an honor student? True or false? Okay. This is so false. This is so false. If I could right now, I'm tempted to stand on my chair and wave my arms around and jump up and down and tell you how false this is. It does not look bad, okay? You may have never gotten tutoring before, right? But you may need to this semester, especially if you're taking a bunch of honors classes and it's remote and you're not used to learning that way and it's tricky and, this is a whole new way of learning, nobody's nudging you to do your homework all the time. You may need to go to the Tutoring Center. There is nothing wrong with that. Smart is as smart does. And you'll see that line again in my next slide when we get back to the presentation. You want to be smart, okay? Be smart, not because you know things or because you have a great SAT score, but because you get help when you need it. And that not only goes for RCC, but it goes for every other place and every other time in your life, right? Don't be afraid to ask for help. It does not make you dumb. It does not make you, unequal to the task. It just means that you need a little help, and everybody does at some point in their lives. So ask for help, please. All right, here we go. Last question, friends, and then we're going to crown a winner here. There's going to be confetti and everything. The first person you should go to with a question about RCC is your what? Is it your best friend? Is it your parent, your student success advisor, or your honors mentor? First person, okay? You can always go to more people, but who's the first person you should go to? Okay, good. The first person you go to is your honors mentor. You are honors students. Your honors mentor understands the expectations of the honors program better than anybody, okay? Your student success advisor is wonderful. So you're actually all kind of lucky. I mean, you're actually, I think, very lucky, to be honest. You have an extra layer of support in that mentor. Everybody else just has a student success advisor, and they are wonderful, but they have hundreds of students that they're trying to take care of. And your honors mentor has a much smaller number of students whom they're trying to help. So please go to your mentor first with your questions, okay? And then you can always get extra feedback from your student success advisor or from your best friend or from your parent, all of whom are wonderful resources for you. But I want you to go to your honors mentor first, okay? So let's see who won this Kahoot. What's the podium like? In third place, we have Christine. Well done, Christine. You can wave at the camera if you want. Marina in second place. Well done, Marina. And in first place, our winner of the day, Lola. Well done. And there's the confetti. Huzzah. Runners up, Peter and Emily. Great job. I'm going to take a little screenshot of this. Why not? Okay. Great work. So I hope that was fun for you. You know, I think Kahoots are great. They're just a nice way to, you know, get a little engaged. So congratulations again to our winners. And I'm going to get back to my presentation. We are almost ready to do our breakout rooms where you're going to have a chance to you know, see your mentor and talk with your mentor. But I just want to share a little bit more about these support services, okay? So as I said, smart is as smart does. So let's look at the different support services that are available to you. And yes, I made them a rainbow on purpose. So first of all, the Connection Center, okay? The Connection Center is a place for you to go when you are experiencing difficulties that have to do with life outside of academics. So let me give you a few examples. Your family has lost their home. You are food insecure. You are really struggling in terms of mental health, right? And even if you're just struggling a little bit in terms of mental health, you're really feeling a lot of anxiety, or you're feeling like you maybe have depression. You're really struggling to concentrate, struggling to focus. You know, anything like that, anything that has to do with stuff outside of school, you can go to the Connection Center. There are licensed mental health counselors working there who will connect you to resources in the community and on campus. And they can do that virtually. So if you can't come to campus, don't want to come to campus, you can absolutely meet with them virtually about that. And they will keep everything confidential, okay, so that they can support you. Really, really important. This is going to be a challenging semester for, I think, all of us in terms of mental health, right? This is a strange and scary time. Some of us have lost people in our families due to the pandemic. Some of us are really struggling with, you know, living situations that aren't the best, where we can't get outside very much and we can't do the things that used to help us stay healthy. Some of us are just really worried about the pandemic and the future of the country. Some of us have lost jobs or have parents who have lost jobs. Some of us are really struggling with politics and the political environment right now. There are a lot of things that could be contributing to your mental health maybe not being as strong as it always has been. And then you seek out help, and you must do it, because if you don't, it's going to start negatively impacting your education. And you want to have a strong start so that you can build on that strong start, so that you can be just like Duran and Y and Jasmine and Neola and go on to awesome places. Every single one of those students who I just mentioned, every single one of them went through a rough time while they were at RCC. And they turned to people who could help them, and they got the help they needed, and they powered through. And that is the lesson here, okay? So that's the Connection Center for things that don't have to do with academics. The Reading and Writing Center and the Tutoring and Testing Center we've talked about. So the Reading and Writing Center you go to if you are struggling to understand a text, right? You're struggling really with the reading comprehension, or more likely in your case, you're wanting help with writing, with a writing assignment. The tutoring center, you go to them when you want help with economics, when you want help with math, when you want help with, biology or chemistry or physics, something like that, okay? Trio, if you are a citizen and a first-generation college student, you may also be a member of a minority community, you should look into Trio. Trio is an extra layer of support that you may be eligible for, okay? And if you think that's you can search for it on the RCC website. You can go to your mentor and ask them to help you find more information about Trio. The Science Learning Center, they have, different models, they have different kinds of review sessions. They're part of the tutoring center, and you can schedule appointments with them specifically for help with science courses. Accessibility services. If you received what's called an IEP in high school, if you have, some kind of an academic disability, I don't really like using that word, but if you have something like that, or if you have a physical disability, you should definitely reach out to accessibility services. Unlike in high school, you have to take that step. You have to make that effort. So make sure that you are reaching out to them if that's something you qualified for in the past. You can also reach out to them if you think you should be tested for something. They can help you find resources to help you with that. Financial aid. We talked about financial aid a little bit. If you want to apply for financial aid, you need to fill out the FAFSA, and then you need to be very careful about which courses you're taking and that you understand exactly the requirements, because financial aid will be taken away from you if you don't do what your package sort of expects you to do. There are usually credit minimums. You have to take courses within your degree, but everybody's financial aid is a little different. So you need to really understand that, and we can help you, okay? We can help you, but you need to reach out to financial aid and we can help you do that. Counseling services. You can, if you are just interested in counseling, if you know that you want counseling specifically, you can go directly to counseling services. You can also go through the Connection Center, and counseling is available through there as well. Okay, really strongly recommend counseling. When we were on campus before we had to go remote, there was not a semester that went by that I did not personally walk at least 2 to 3 honor students over to see counseling. And I was the one who said, I want you to meet my friend. They need, to have a counseling appointment. How can we set that up? I will do that for you remotely if you want. If you feel more comfortable talking to me first instead of reaching out to counseling services yourself or talking to your mentor, reach out to us and then we will help you make that connection. I know it's scary. The first time I ever went to therapy, I was 37. It was a few years ago, and it was really hard for me to make that phone call. And if it was really hard for me to make that phone call at 37, I can imagine that it would be really hard for you to write that email or for you to reach out and make that phone call. So I'm ready to help you, and so are all of your mentors, okay? So please get the help you need when you need it. Finally, career services. This is where you use your student success advisor, and we can help you with this as well. But the student success advisor is going to have a lot of useful career services information. So if you're interested in thinking about that, please do talk to your mentor first, and then they can help you connect with your success advisor. Okay. Now you get to meet your mentors, which is really exciting. So the only mentor who isn't here today, she couldn't be here and she's so sorry about it, is Professor Fuller. Okay, but the good news is that Professor Fuller is our biology professor, and Dr. Butler is our chemistry professor. Dr. Butler is going to work with all of Professor Fuller's students just for today. So the breakout rooms have been pre-populated. What that means is that when I hit a button, you're all going to go into a breakout room, and you're going to have about 20 minutes there. Okay, and there's going to be a timer. It'll give you a warning when that time is about up. And at that particular point, you're going to come back into the whole session, and we'll wrap up, and you'll be free to go. I will hang around for a few more minutes if you need me to. So your mentor is going to be there in the room with you. They're going to say a few words, and then they're going to ask you to ask your questions. Okay, so that's what we're up to now. I'm about to hit the breakout rooms. So let's see. I don't know what happened there. That's a little weird. It's telling me I had them all set up, and then it looks like they are not set up. Okay, well, that is really strange. They were all set up before, so we're having another little technical difficulty here. Let me try recover to pre-assigned rooms. Here we go. Yes. Okay, here we go. Now I got it back. Okay, that was a little bit panic inducing, but we figured it out. Sorry for the delay there, folks. I am going to open the rooms now. Now, just as a note, everybody who is assigned to me, you're going to stay here in the big room, okay, with me. Everybody else, you're going to go into the breakout room. It's going to take a minute for me to get your mentors into the room with you. So while you're waiting for your mentor to join you, I want you to just hang out, chat with each other, you know, be polite and respectful, obviously, but just you can go ahead and chat with each other while you're waiting for your mentor to join you, okay? So here we go. I'm going to open the rooms now. Okay. So mentors, just give me 1 second to bring you into your rooms. Okay, so Dr. Lee is squared away. Let's see. And students who are with me, just give me a couple seconds here to get this all finished. Thanks for your patience, everybody. And then, okay, I think, oh, and there's Kathy. We'll get Kathy. All right, I think we should be good now. Carol and Teresa, do you want to stay in with me or do you want to go to one of those other rooms?
I'll go to science.
You want to go to science? Okay, no problem. Sure. Hang on 1 second. I will give you to science.
Or whatever, wherever you want me to go.
Yeah, no, I'll give you to, I will put you in with Odessa. There you go. Okay, everybody. Oh, did that work out? Yes, okay, perfect. So everybody, I'm gonna put my Zoom in gallery mode. If you want, I know that a lot of you have your cameras off, which is totally fine, but if you want to put them on right now, I'd love to see your faces if you can. If you can't, no worries, I understand. So, you know, I've been talking a lot. You know a little bit about me by now. Most of you in this room are my mentees, and I'm so excited to work with you and to help you meet your goals, whether your goals are staying here 1 year and moving on after that as an early admit, or whether your goals are to, you know, transfer in 2 years and get your degree. What I am most interested in hearing right now is from you. You know, what are your questions? What are you concerned about? What's still confusing? So I'm going to shut up and let you talk. So if you want, what you can do is unmute and you can you know, say whatever you want, whatever's on your mind. Who's got a question? Nobody?
Hi, can you hear me? I actually have a question.
Sure thing, John, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is there is all the like office hours, are they all online, or is it possible you could like do it in person?
So that's a great question, John. It's going to depend on your faculty member. So some faculty members will be on campus sometimes, but there is a rule, RTC has a rule that only 30% of the whole campus, meaning students and faculty and staff, can be on campus at any one point. So a lot of faculty will not be there. So it may be that your faculty says to you, like, for example, if it were me, John, I'd be saying to you, I'm really sorry, but I'm not going to be on campus. So we're going to have to meet remotely, right? But you may have faculty members who are on campus. And in that case, just make sure you're wearing your mask, you know, doing all the right things. Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great question. Thank you for that.
Sorry, I have a question.
Sure, Michelle, is that you?
Yeah. Is it the business track, like the group?
I'm sorry?
Is this like for the business track, this group right here?
No. So these are you on the business track?
Yeah.
Perfect. Michelle, why don't I do this? I'm going to put you into that room, okay?
Okay.
So you're going to leave this room. You'll go talk to Professor Roche.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? See ya.
Yeah, bye.
Great. Other questions?
Hi, Mrs. Lynch. My name's Jimson, and I'm supposed to be in the STEM breakout room.
Perfect, Jimson. Yeah. So I couldn't find you when I was trying to assign things. So Jimson, let me put you in there. No problem. Okay. Science. Here you go. Okay. Oh wow, you may hear thunder in the background for me. We're having a big thunderstorm right now. It's very exciting. Okay. What questions do you have? There's no dumb question. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't even
J-
really have a
Oh,
question.
hang on, Andrew. Jada raised her hand here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jada, go ahead. No, you're fine.
Is there any way to like accelerate or like take more courses like is there any graduating like earlier available like for RCC, the honors program, or?
Yeah, so if you want to really pile on the classes, you could graduate in maybe 3 semesters instead of, 4 semesters, right? You could take winter classes, you could take summer classes. Here's the one thing to know. There aren't any honors classes offered in the winters or in the summers, okay? So you would need to make sure you're taking all the honors classes you need in the fall and spring semesters.
Okay.
I have seen some students graduate in, let's say, 3 semesters instead of 4, especially if they do take some of those classes. What I would suggest is maybe schedule a meeting with me and let's figure out like a plan for you if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
The other thing to look at is I would really encourage all of you to start thinking about, start thinking about where you want to transfer to if you are going to stay with us and transfer. Definitely, if you're an early admit and you are and you're wanting to go to a 4-year school in the fall, you definitely this next fall, you definitely want to be applying for colleges right now, right? But either way, start thinking about that, and because the reason I say that in answer to your question, Jada, is that there are some 4-year schools that don't accept spring transfer students. And what they mean by that is they don't accept transfer students in January. They only accept transfer students in September. So that would mean that if you did graduate early, let's say you graduated in 3 semesters and you graduated in December of 2021, then, if you wanted one of those schools, like let's say Columbia, I know for a fact they don't accept transfer students, in the spring, then you'd have to wait anyway. Right? Now, most schools do accept transfer students in the fall and the spring, but there are a few exceptions to that. So, let's definitely talk about that, make a plan, look into it, do the research, and we'll work on that.
And I saw that there was a limit for 18 credits when you sign up for things. So is that like?
So if you want to take more than 18, let's talk it over, and I can ask the registrar to change that little hold in your account. Now, I will be honest with you all, I think it's a bad idea to take more than 18 credits in your first semester of college, because this is a big transition. Like, college classes are going to be very different from high school classes. Also, it's all mostly happening remotely. But if you wanted to take, let's say, 19 credits, or if you wanted to take just a little bit more, yeah, go for it. And if you really made a case to me and Jada, you were like, no, I want to take another class, I can do it, I'm really excited about it, I'd say, okay, go ahead and try it. But it is my advice that you don't take more than 18 credits in your first semester.
Yeah.
Just because, again, it's a big adjustment period.
I took in summer statistics, so I would have 18 credits, but I was wondering, like, would that conflict? Because I have 14 credits for fall, and then I have the 4 credits from statistics. So would that combine for 18 credits? Or
no. So that summer term is completely separate.
Okay.
So if you have 14 credits in the fall, then you can absolutely take another class.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. So right now, if you were to look on self-service, it would tell you you're having 14 credits for the fall. And then you could add another class without going over that 18 credit limit.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Great questions. And, the moral of the story is, definitely if you want to do anything like that, just talk to me first and we'll go through all of the options, What else is on your mind, guys? Andrew, you're supposed to be in the business?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry about that.
No, I appreciate your patience there, my friend. Let me move you over. There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right. So what else? What else is on people's minds? Nothing? Really? Okay, well then why don't you guys tell me about yourselves a little bit? Let's see. I want to hear from Lola. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you like to do? What are you interested in? What kind of person are you?
So no school is happening, so I've been on Instagram a lot, Netflix. I like watching cooking shows. I've been reading a lot during quarantine time. because of all the free time I had. Currently, I'm reading a book about the highly sensitive person. It's very interesting. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Is anybody else doing any of those kinds of things? Is anybody into cooking shows, for example? Yeah, few people. Cool. Okay. Let's go to Cynthia. Cynthia, how about you? What have you been up to recently? What do you want us to know about you?
I've just been painting and drawing a lot, really. I've been working on my portfolio for college, so.
That's amazing. And you're planning to go to an art school, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. Anybody else into the visual arts? Anybody else into painting, drawing, etc.? Not so much? No? That's okay. Jake, how about you? What have you been up to?
I've been working late nights at ShopRite, and I do stream, so simple stuff.
What do you stream?
Just games, video games, all that.
Is there one in particular, or any that you really like?
League of Legends.
Nice. We watch a lot of the LCS, actually. My wife and I, we watch
Really?
a lot of it. So yeah.
Keep an eye out for me. I might be there next year. No, I'm kidding.
Hey man, I hope so. You know,
It's the
that's
hope,
awesome.
right?
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's really cool. Very, very cool. Good for you. It's exciting. Our son really enjoys, he does some streaming as well. And so he's starting to get into it. He just turned 13 in January, so he was able to finally be of age to do some of that. So it's really, really exciting. Cool. So Jada, how about you? I know you asked a question earlier, but what have you been up to? What do you like to do?
I like to read a lot. I've been reading a book about, I think it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I like books like that help with manifestation, spirituality, stuff like that, and add brain science behind it. So
it's amazing. Awesome. That sounds really great. So you and Lola have both been doing a lot of reading, which is pretty fun. Very cool. All right. How about you, John? What have you been up to?
So more recently in quarantine, I've been playing a lot more basketball. I'm gonna play basketball at RCC too.
Awesome, congrats.
Thank you. So I've been playing a lot of basketball, and then I also play some video games and stuff. And then more recently, me and my friends have been going to different cliff jumping spots around.
Whoa, is that safe?
It's good, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, congrats on it. What position are you in basketball?
Shooting guard.
Nice. All right. Well, when does your season start? I hope you're able to do it. You know?
Yeah, I was texting the coach the other day, and he said that it's supposed, at least what he heard last, it's supposed to get pushed back to January 1st. So it usually starts mid the season, at least official practices usually start, at least for high school, mid-November. It's a month and a half, I guess, delay.
Okay.
For now.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good plan. I hope they can follow through. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Rebecca, how about you? What have you been up to? Yeah.
I've been working a lot, and I'm just hanging out with my friends, but I'm usually at work.
Yeah. Where do you work?
I work at the West Nyack Swim Club and West Nyack Pizzeria.
That's amazing. Awesome. Well, good. I mean, there's a bunch of you who's obviously doing a lot of work over the summer and trying to make some money, and that is great. So just stay safe. Let's see, Ben, how about you? What have you been up to?
I've been I mainly just have my job. I work on chimneys in Manhattan, and
that's amazing.
That's today I got back. I went down to Lower Manhattan, and I drove back on the way.
That's incredible. Well, thanks for joining us on the road. I saw you come in the car. That's really cool. Thanks for joining us. That's a lot of dedication. So you've had a really early day, huh?
Yeah. Not that early, but it's okay.
Cool. Awesome. Well, good for you. That's a really interesting job for sure. All right, Jonathan Harris, what have you been up to?
I've just been sleeping my days away.
You've been sleeping your days away?
Yeah.
That's nice. I've actually gotten more sleep during quarantine too. Has anyone else gotten more sleep?
I've gotten way more sleep than I need. I'd still be sleeping on a normal day.
No way.
It's awful.
Okay, well then what time do you usually go to bed?
Like I went to bed at like 6 o'clock yesterday. It was awesome.
I think school starting is going to maybe put a crimp in that a little bit. I'm sorry to say, but
Yeah, it's not gonna be fun.
Well, I wish you all the best in adjusting to this new world order. But yeah, that's great. Raven, I know we got to talk yesterday, but what have you been up to? You want to say anything to our peers here?
Yeah, I also have been sleeping a lot, but I work too, so I get up.
Where do you work?
Jersey Mike's.
Nice. Do you get free subs?
Yeah, I do when I work. It's nice.
Yeah, there's one perk. It's good. Marina, how about you? What have you been up to?
Hi, honestly, nothing important. I've just been binge watching The Walking Dead. Not much else.
Wow, anybody else a Walking Dead fan? I can't do horror, but yeah, okay, maybe a few people Walking Dead fans. That's awesome. So you don't mind the blood and guts?
No, it's fine.
That's great. Well, you're braver than I am for sure. Cool. Connor, how about you?
I've been working a lot too. I work at TJ Maxx and Annual, but during my free time, I like to listen to like music and do art too.
Oh, nice. What kind of music do you do?
No, I don't do music. I just like listen to music. I just listen to honestly like everything. Big mix.
Excellent. Well, good. That's great. What kind of art do you do? I know we've got Cynthia too, who's an artist.
I do like, I used to do painting when I was younger, but now I kind of just like draw with like pens.
Nice. Fantastic. Joe, how about you? What have you been up to?
Hello. I pretty much just do two things. I just work and play golf. That's it.
Work and play golf. That's awesome. All right. Where do you work?
I work at a convenience store on 303. I stock shelves at night, and I work behind the counter during the day.
Awesome. And you are also going to be on RCC's golf team, right?
Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to it.
That's really cool. I'm excited for you. So you and John are our scholar athletes here. That's pretty great.
I guess so, yeah.
Cool.
Congrats. Thank you.
Miranda, how about you? What have you been up to?
I've just been working and writing and watching Netflix.
Nice. What have you been writing?
I like to write poems sometimes.
Cool. Got any favorites on Netflix? I think my favorite thing I saw this summer on Netflix was She-Ra. It was amazing. Highly recommended.
I'm watching season 10 of Shameless.
Of Shameless. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Cool. Angelina, what about you? What have you been up to?
Hi, sorry, 1 second.
No problem.
Hi,
Take your time.
I'm in Walmart because I work, so I'm currently working right now.
Oh, you were so dedicated for joining us. Thank you.
Yeah. I just, over the summer, I've mostly been working. I went to the beach a little bit, but it's mostly just work.
Cool.
I work at a car dealer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, yeah, good for you for getting the money. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, glad you're with us. And Amy, I'm glad to see you. How have you been? What have you been up to?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Yeah. So anything new in your life?
Nothing really. I've been workaholic this summer. I was fortunate to get a job as a lifeguard. So just keeping up with 2 jobs this summer, kept me busy.
Okay. Very, very cool. Yeah, it's currently not swimming weather where I am. It's thunder and lightning. You'd tell everyone to get out of the pool. So, yeah. All right, my friends, I really appreciate you sharing a little bit about your lives and yourselves. We've got about a minute and a half left until our breakout room closes. Is there anything else that someone's thought of as a question? Questions about your online classes, questions about any aspect of RCC?
I actually have a question about the bookstore and how it works.
Yes, I believe that they sent something to your RCC email addresses, I think.
They said to just buy the books, but not really like when the books are going to be sent out, or I know some of them, some teachers haven't uploaded the requirement either, for English, it's not up for me, so.
Yeah, so a lot of your English classes are going to, especially if you're taking me, if I'm your English teacher, it's all going to be online and free. But what you can do, if the teacher hasn't uploaded anything yet, if there's no information about the textbook, you can always email them. So I'd suggest maybe doing that today or tomorrow, emailing any teacher that doesn't have information. And then the other thing you can do is, I'll try to reach out to the bookstore and see what they've sent to students so that I understand what they're doing there. But the other thing you can do is you can always rent textbooks on Amazon. You can buy textbooks on Amazon. You don't have to go through the bookstore. And in fact, I'm just going to give you a little tip. The bookstore is often more expensive than Amazon, so you might want to go through Amazon. If you do have financial aid left over after your tuition is paid, you can use that money to help pay for books. But you also can not do that. So it's really, there's a lot of options here, and I will try to get more information about the bookstore for you. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I am going to pull us all back into a giant room, okay? So thanks again. It was great to meet all of you. Please be in touch. Just ask me anything. Let me know, what you need, okay? So we're gonna, have just about 15 more minutes here where we're actually all together, and then I'll let you go. And just thanks so much for being here today. Okay, so this is actually a 60-second counter, so we're gonna have 60 more seconds. So if anybody has another question that they've just thought of, please let me know. Everybody's coming back in, it looks like. Welcome back, everybody, to the big group. Okay. While we're waiting for everybody to come back in, and Jake, I love that you said, if nobody said this today, I love you all as a friend. I love that. Yes, love you too, man. Love is the foundation of this program. I strongly believe that. So feeling the love today. I'm loving that. If you have questions and, as we're waiting for other people to come back in, you're welcome to voice them or type them in the chat. I'm scrolling up in the chat. I see some people are bummed out about, having some trouble with the Kahoot. And I'm sorry. I know there are always some issues there. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. It's okay, it wasn't a graded exercise, but I know people get really into it and they're very competitive, so I get it. There have been a couple times when I've used Kahoots when I've actually marked the wrong answer as the right one, and then everyone gets so mad at me. So I've tried to double check that because everyone's like, I got the right answer, but now I don't have points. Why? Yes, Carol, we love our RCC Honors family. I could not agree with you more. Any questions as we're all coming back in together? Okay, I think everybody's out of their rooms, right? So make sure that you mute yourselves. Here's what we're gonna do. There will be plenty of time for you to still ask questions, but I do have just a little bit more to say in terms of a presentation, so I am going to move to that real quick. And this is where I'm gonna ask Carol and Teresa to introduce themselves. You see them here. Carol is the assistant coordinator of the program. Teresa is the support staff of our program. And Kayla, who you met earlier, she is our student assistant for this year. Carol, would you like to say a few words to our students?
Yes, I just want to say hi, everybody. I'm so excited for the semester to start. I wish we could all be there in person. Just something that's really important this semester is please connect with us on social media, Facebook and Instagram. I know we talked about it earlier, but that's going to be really important when it comes time for all our club events. So hope to see you all there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Teresa, how about you?
I'm Teresa. I'm the office assistant, and I know that I have met a few of you in the STEM breakout room. It was nice to meet you. For those of you who weren't in that room, I hope eventually to meet you in person.
Great. Thank you so much. And, Carol and Teresa have done so much work. They've been on the front lines of helping you with your applications, right? Of interviewing you. You met a lot of them. They met a lot of you. And so we're just so thankful for both of you and all the work that you do. And we appreciate that. You can always reach out to the honors office, to all three of us, by using the email honors@sunyrockland.edu, or you can reach out to us individually. That's fine too. So it's really up to you. So I want to also talk about an activity that I'd like you to do after we're finished, okay? After we're finished today. This is something called your honors plan, and I'm going to put a link in the chat at the very end that will take you to your honors plan. I'm also going to follow up in an email. This is a Google form. Okay, so later today or by September 1st at the latest, please fill out this Google Doc questionnaire. It will come to you in an email. I'll also put it in the chat in a few minutes. You'll need to be logged into your RCC email to do it. Okay, so that's good practice for you to check your email once a day. Your questionnaire, the results of that questionnaire are going to be given to your mentor, and they'll discuss your responses with you. I really strongly recommend that you set up an appointment with your mentor within the first 3 weeks of the semester, not only to talk about your plan, but also to just introduce yourself and get a sense of who they are and what they recommend, and start talking about your goals. That's a really good piece of advice. In the first 3 weeks of the semester, set up a meeting with your mentor, and a copy of that plan when you fill it out will be emailed to you at your RCC email address. So I'll be putting that in the chat just in a couple minutes. And finally, do you have any questions? So at this particular point, I am happy to answer questions. We're going to end a little bit early today. I'm going to remain here in the Zoom, and I'm going to put the link in the chat. So this is the honors plan link. This will take you to a Google form. You will fill out the form. It shouldn't take really more than like 10-ish minutes. If you find yourself taking longer, you can obviously, but you don't need to. It's going to ask you about some of your goals. And so, in terms of what happens next, I'm just going to be here waiting for your questions. You can hang out and listen. You can leave and go on with your life. I want to say thank you so much for everybody who took the time today for a nearly 2-hour session. I know that's a lot of time. I appreciate that you were here, that you were attentive, that you were respectful, that you were, engaged. I just appreciate that so much. We want to do everything we can to help you this semester, and so help you make a strong start at RCC. So please, please, please let us know what you need in order to feel supported, and we will get you that support, okay? So feel free to leave if you need to, or you want to. Feel free to stay if you still have questions. I can be on for another 20 minutes or so.
Katie?
Yes, Mr. Arbonites.
How are you? Excellent
I'm well,
job.
how are you?
Very well. I just wanted to add something about textbooks, because I've gotten some emails from students about the textbooks for their courses. I recommend that they wait until they hear from their instructor, because sometimes an instructor will have an alternative way for students to get the textbook, not necessarily through the bookstore. The bookstore may not be the least expensive way to get a book. So the instructor may have a way for you to either get a book at a reduced price via a publisher directly, or even a free version of the book, which is best of all. OER, for example, we're using a lot of free versions. So I would recommend, instead of you buying a book before your class meets, wait or email your instructor and see if they can have an alternative for you to get a less expensive version of your textbook. Thanks.
Yes, and that came up in our breakout room as well. I really appreciate that. I would suggest, I think being proactive is the right way, right? And I would reach out to your instructor right away and just say, could you please tell me which book we're using? And then I agree. Try to see if they have recommendations for how to purchase it more cheaply. You might be able to rent it for cheaper, but you want to be careful that you can rent it for long enough, right? That you'll be able to keep it for long enough. It might be that they're using an open educational resource, which is a free or low cost material. That would be great. So yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up to the whole group. Yeah. And great, I see lots of people saying thank you in the chat. Bill Gates has a website with a bunch of books for free. Jonathan, absolutely. There's so many great resources out there, and there is a movement. This open educational resources movement exists to try to, help instructors choose resources that are cheaper, that are, and that can be revised and changed in more flexible ways. So great. How do you find your instructor's email? Great question. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you. So let me do this. I will share my screen and I will show you. Okay, we're going to log back into our wonderful system here that always keeps us logged out. I know they're doing it for the right reasons. It's a more secure way. So here I am going to my RCC, and when I go to self-service, here's what happens. This is my self-service. And so when I go and I'm looking up a course, right, I'm going into the registration part of self-service. I know it looks a little, this part looks the same. The part that came before looks a little different from you. If you're still struggling with self-service, there's a tutorial you can watch. If you don't have the link for that, I can send it to you. If we look up a course, so let's look up all the honors courses. That'll be a fun thing to do. We go to fall 2020. And the way to look up every single honors course is to go here in Gen Ed /attributes. Incidentally, this is also the way that if you needed a general education course, for example, let's say that your degree made you take a general education course in natural science or in social science, you could search for all of those courses here. But you can also search for all of the honors courses. And when we do that and we click search, what happens is that we come up with a list of all the honors courses, and you'll see many of them are full. We're doing really well for ourselves, which is great. If I need to figure out how to contact Professor Fuller, especially because she couldn't join us today, she really wishes she could, but she could not, she was not able to, then you click on her name. And when you do that, you see how you get her email address that pops up right there, and you can just send her a quick note, okay? So that is how. I see some people, it looks like some people have been talking in the chat, so let me go to that. Okay, the vaccination. Okay, so there's a couple questions. And yeah, please feel free, you're welcome to leave if you do not want to stay, okay? But if you do want to stay, happy to have you. Jessica's asking about the dual degree between nursing and the honors program. So yes, if you want to apply to the nursing program, you can actually work on both degrees simultaneously. It's likely that it's going to take you more than 2 years to complete both degrees. What I would suggest doing, and I'm still sharing my screen with you, is to search for nursing and read about how to apply to that program. In the meantime, you want to be on the math and science honors track. So if that's not where you are, let me know. But hopefully you are on that track, because that is the track that will help you with fulfilling your nursing prerequisites while you are applying to nursing. And so we do have one student currently who's doing this dual degree, and we have had students in the past who are doing it. And so what happens with a dual degree is that you have 2 programs of study listed, and you fulfill the obligations of both degrees at the same time. But like I said, to do that would mean probably staying a little bit longer. Now, Jessica, one other thing that I want you to know is that we have also had honors students who wanted to be nurses but didn't want to get an associate in nursing because they know that the bachelor's in nursing is really the degree that is needed. Some people still want the associate, which is great, but if you are really looking to transfer into a competitive bachelor's of nursing program, you want to let your mentor know, be on that math and science track, that honors track, and your mentor will work with you to make sure that you do all of the relevant coursework that you need. For example, you'll take anatomy and physiology, right, instead of maybe general biology. And then you can apply to some of these top nursing programs. We've had students get into, NYU's nursing program. We've had students get into UNC, Chapel Hill. That's another one of the good ones. I don't know if we've had anybody get into UVA recently, but that's another one of the really good ones. The difference there is that those top programs, they will not take nursing courses from other schools. So for example, NYU says, we welcome your transfer students to apply to nursing, but we will not take any course that starts with NUR because we want to teach you these courses. So Jessica, I think the real answer to your question is do some research, but also talk to your mentor about your specific goals. And then you'll come up with a plan with your mentor about what is going to work best. Is it a dual degree, or is it, staying on that math and science honors track and just taking the right courses that will help you transfer to a top nursing program? I hope that is helpful. Let me see, I'm gonna call back the chat here and then just give me a second. I saw some other questions. Michael, great question. If all of my classes are remote, do I still need to complete the vaccination papers? If so, where can I find it? That is a great question that I do not know the answer to. Does anybody know the answer? Any of my colleagues on the call? I'm going to do a search while. Anybody know?
I don't.
Yeah, I really don't either.
I don't either. Okay. I was going to email Robin to find out.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, Kathy, Professor Roche, that would be amazing. I really appreciate that.
I'll do that, and I'll share the answer. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Michael, I apologize, we don't have the answer. We're going to get it for you, and we're going to send it in an email in the near future, okay? So thank you for asking a great question. Brianna, the link, I put that link in the chat, but there's been so many chats that have been happening since then. I'm going to give you the link again, just a second. And I'm also going to put that in the, okay, so here we go. Here is the link, okay? So, oh, I see. You know what? I think I apologize, everybody. I put the link in the waiting room instead of in the meeting earlier. I apologize. I'll send that out via email too. So thank you, Carol, for pointing that out to me. Let's look here. Adam, I accidentally signed up for the asynchronous version of the Intro to Honors. Yes. So Adam, there are 2 asynchronous Intro to Honors classes. One is in the first half of the semester, one's in the second half of the semester. You're in the one that starts in October, and that's why it's really important to look and see when your course starts. If I go back to Banner real quick, I'm going to show you how to find that. So for example, you can see the start date of a course right here. Most courses are starting in September, but if we go forward a little bit, we're going to find those Intro to Honors courses, and I'll show you mine that's starting in October, although apparently we're having a problem here. So it starts on October the 26th, I believe, and what that means is that you will take that course only in the second half of the school year. It's also asynchronous, meaning that it is a course that won't ever meet face-to-face, but Adam, you can always meet with me face-to-face in my office hours if you ever have any questions. And when that course becomes available to you, which will be a week before you start it, there will be a lot of material in there. There will be instructions in there about how to get started. Okay, so there'll be a lot of good information. Let me just show you real quick here. If we look at the Intro to Honors courses, you'll see that last one here, the start date is 10/26/2020. Okay, so that's the scoop on, it's called Flex Term 2, where the courses start in late October. Let me see what else. Goldie has asked, is it possible to complete math and science degrees for associates and then go straight to a bachelor's? Yes, absolutely. In fact, that's the goal of the honors program. So your bachelor degree is 4 years, okay, for most students. Sometimes it's 5 years, especially if you're pursuing something like engineering. If you want to think about it this way, an associate degree is half of a bachelor's degree, okay? So unless you switch majors between your associates and your bachelor's, you are going to have half of it done by the time you finish at RCC. And our goal, we are a very transfer-oriented program. So our goal is to help you transfer, and moreover, to help you transfer to potentially the best schools in the world, right? So that's why we have a transfer seminar, and that's why we do so much work on transfer with you. And I'm constantly sending out resources that have to do with transfer. So yes, Goldie, absolutely. You'd complete that math and science degree, and then you'd hopefully have about half of a degree in some field of math and science completed. Okay. Great. We've got a question about how to sign up for clubs. You will get information about this in, I think, the 3rd or 4th week of the semester from the Student Involvement Office. Okay. So check your RCC email. I spoke to the Director of Student Involvement a few days ago. I confirmed that the clubs will be able to be activated. There will be clubs, there will be activities. And so just keep an eye on your email. The minute I hear anything else, I will send you some more information via email, okay? Great. So, Ritza, it looks like you said you signed up for the Intro to Honors asynchronous class, but it isn't on your page. If you signed up for the one that starts on 10/26, is that the one you signed up for? Because if so, it won't be on your page yet because it's going to open up a week before the class begins. Okay, a week before the class begins. Great. So, Jimson, your question about honors macroeconomics, thanks so much for that. Dr. Repick, who has been here in this call, he's the one teaching that class. I'm not sure why his name isn't on it yet, but he's the one teaching the class. If you have a question about it, you can email him at grepick@sunyrockland.edu. I'm going to put that in the right chat this time. I apologize for that before. And that is what you can do. You will not have to teach yourself. He will be there, but it is an asynchronous course. So, you know, you're not going to do the video conferencing. This presentation, so Andrew's asking, well, can I share this presentation with you? Absolutely. I'm going to share the recording with you. When it's ready, I'll share the link out with you and you'll be able to watch this all over again if you want. Shilpa's asking about if you want to transfer within 1 year. So Shilpa, I strongly suggest that you do not do that. And the reason why is because when you transfer, let's say you wanted to transfer in the fall semester of 2021. So you wanted next fall to be sitting down in a 4-year school. You apply for those for transfer in January through April of the year in which you transfer. So for you, if you wanted to sit down at a 4-year school in September 2021, you would apply in January through April of 2021. But you will have only had 1 semester at RCC before you apply. And that doesn't give the school a lot of information about you. So you can do it. And if you want to do it, that's fine. We will help you do it. But I actually think you'll be able to make a stronger case for yourself if you stay. Now, again, not going to make you stay, can't make you stay. And I'm going to support you in whatever your goal is. It will be very important for you to do very well this fall if you want to try to make a strong case for transferring. But I just do give you that little warning because we generally see the most success with our students who stay for the full 2 years, who have 3 whole semesters, right? Fall, spring, and then the next fall before they apply. And they have all these great honors classes and they've gotten involved in their school and they have all this great stuff they can say in their application and they've done an interview and they're telling this great story about themselves. And that's where we see the most success. But whatever your goal is, we're gonna help you get there, okay? I don't see any more questions. Is there anything else? You can unmute too and talk to me. I'm gonna stop sharing now. You all have been amazing. Great questions. Just keep an eye on your email, okay? The RCC ID, yes, here. I'll send that in an email to you, Jessica, okay? They said they sent it out, but I've been getting a lot of questions, so I'll send it to you. I'll send that PDF again. Yep. Great. Oh yeah, I'll send it to everybody, not to fret. So I'm going to send a follow-up email. It'll probably be tomorrow, just because I've got like a whole bunch more meetings left today. So it'll probably be tomorrow. But I will send you an email that's going to have the link to this recording. It's going to have hopefully the information that Professor Roche was able to find out about immunizations. It's going to have that PDF about IDs, and I'll send that to you, and you can move forward from there. Okay.
Carol?
Yeah, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Carol.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about our virtual in the office hours?
Well, we haven't worked on that with the club yet, so it's nothing definite right now, but okay. We'll wait until we have something more tangible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, everybody, I so appreciate your time today and your attention. Thank you. Please stay safe and just please be in touch, okay? Mentors, thank you for all the everything you've done this summer and for the time you gave today. Carol and Teresa, you're amazing. We love you all, and it's gonna be great, okay? We're gonna make it be great, all right? I know it's gonna be weird and it's gonna be hard sometimes, but it's also gonna be awesome, and we're gonna learn a lot this semester. So thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to end the meeting now, but be in touch with what you need, okay? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.